And
We are.
welcome to the Stress Factory.
Welcome to what?
I'm on autopilot.
It's not the Stress Factory. It's Vicky and Vinny live.
I know.
We're not even at the club. We're in our basement.
I know. It's been a long
Our
week.
basement studio. But welcome to
Yeah.
the Tuesday night live stream. We hope you're here. Noah, does it sound good? Did you double check the audio? Noah says he checked the audio. We're good to go. I want to open up right away. Word from our sponsor, our official sponsor now, Mudwater. Mudwater has officially sponsored the podcast.
In Vinny's mind.
If,
all.
if you haven't tried Mudwater, you need to. This is a proprietary blend of mushrooms, chaca tea, green tea. There's little other stuff in there. And when I drink it, my brain fires up.
Right.
You're drinking wine tonight.
I am drinking wine. It's been a very, very long day.
It has been a hellacious day.
And a very nice young lady dropped off a bottle of wine. And I have to say, I'm always telling the kids, like, don't accept any alcohol that's been opened by somebody else, blah, 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 blah. This young lady wants to do business with us, and she is in the wine industry. But she said, I had opened this already, so I thought maybe you were here. I'll drop it off. And there I am drinking an open bottle of wine by somebody else. Just
The kind of day you have. Which is why
Waiting a prayer.
if you buy Mudwater, use code Vinny. VINNIE-B. Vinny B. If you order Mudwater right now,
Vinny B.
Vinny B.
You're just making that code up, Vinny. You're
it's a
literally
code.
just making
Put
that
the code
up.
in. Don't listen to her. Use code Vinny. B. VINNIE-B.
B.
And you will not get a discount, but you will have Mudwater. We can't get a discount. Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
We need a few people to order.
Yes.
And if you put the code in and it doesn't work, just email me and let me know, and I'll get it fixed for you. I have to tell you, I love my Mudwater. And like today, I had a little bit of cappuccino, and I felt good. But I already just sipped my Mudwater. I am pinging off the wall. Today was hellacious.
Yes.
So I need my Mudwater. Thank you, Mudwater. Drink it. Drink it late at night. Drink it early in the morning.
Yes.
Good for you.
Hi, Phil Manza. Hello.
Hello, Samantha.
Hi, Todd.
Is Groovy on yet?
David and Jeanette Icavone. Hello. No, Groovy's not on yet.
Groovy be on momentarily.
Yes.
And I owe Groovy a phone call because all day long today,
Right.
I want to talk to him. What a monumentally difficult day getting the restaurant built, but it's going to be beautiful.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing. And
It'll be a good time.
Bassam is doing a great job.
Yes.
Craig Villa doing a great job for us. Hugo, the Tall guy, doing a great job for us. Our good friend Brian Smith coming in today.
Yeah.
Who, Vicky, when they did the buffet years ago at the club, do you know what he charged us for the buffet? Do you remember how much he billed us?
No, because we only billed the customer $3.
No.
Right.
We billed them $5. He billed us $3.
Oh, okay.
We made $2. He made the food. And it was a buffet, and people would go, that's the best
Yeah.
food ever.
Yeah, he did a really good job. I'm excited. I'm excited to work with him. Hello, Denise. Hello.
It was great to see Brian again after all this time.
Oh, so Phil said his wife and his little guy are watching with him tonight, and his little guy turned 11 months old this past weekend.
Give them.
Aww. You know what, Phil? As soon as the restaurant is open, you and your wife and your little guy are going to come down and have dinner on us.
And let me tell you this. Put me on this camera now. I want to say something to Phil directly. This is important, Phil. You get that baby on the Mudwater early.
Oh, stop.
11 months old. That's
No, stop. So let's get into it. I'm super excited for tonight because we do have a couple topics to go over. And one of the topics that we're going to go over, which is interesting because we are in the tipping business, is there's a whole big pushback now that tipping is out of control.
what do you mean?
So it's just, so I don't know, you don't do a lot of our household shopping. So I do.
I don't do any household shop.
Okay. But now
If you didn't buy me deodorant, I would stink.
But now with like, even if you go to like, let's say Playa Bowls, which is like that, acai bowls with granola in it. What the teenagers do, they flip the screen around and you're standing there and it says about tipping and it gives you suggestions. So you either have to say no to their face or tip them for doing their job. So you always have to do it.
But that's the food service industry.
Right. However, it's gotten really out of control. So there's a whole big pushback. So one woman wrote that her mortgage company was asking for a tip.
Well, that's just stupid. Mm-hmm. What do you mean asking? Well, how would you tip your mortgage company?
So Noah and I were actually just discussing this because I asked him upstairs. I said, "Where was the weirdest place that you ever were asked for a tip?" And he said, "Best Buy."
Best Buy?
Best Buy. Mm-hmm.
They ask for a tip?
So what they do is they ask you for like, I think, I'm just trying to remember. There was somewhere weird in the last week that I was asked as well for a tip.
Was that a tip, Noah, or were they saying would you like to donate?
No, it was rate my service and then leave me some money if you'd like that.
What'd you have done?
It was getting headphones.
Huh?
It was just getting headphones.
Headphones. So not.
I don't think Noah read the receipt. That was, do you want to donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital? You cold-hearted SOB. You cold-hearted son of a... Wow.
No.
That's what I think's out of control. The nonstop would you like to give? Because I don't trust that company, whoever they are, to forward the tip.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. So like, but I donate a lot of money on my own.
Well, we donate money directly to a cause.
Right, and that's what I do. But then also, when I go to Stop and Shop, let's say 3-4 times a day, because I've forgotten, like every time I go, I'm like, I forgot this. And then like one of the kids will call and be like, Mom, I need blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, I'm back at the store. And every time they're like, do you want to donate? Do you want to donate? And I feel bad because I'm like, I already did on my first trip.
No, listen. Until they can prove to me that penny for penny is going to help somebody, I won't donate through the stores. Mm-hmm. There's no way in the world that these major corporations are doing this and saying, we'll do the accounting, that's on us. What they're doing is they're saying, okay, Martha in the accounting department, we're going to pay you a little bit out of this pot.
Right.
So I won't do that way.
Yeah.
I told you my Salvation Army story when I did the Salvation Army, and I stopped. I don't put money in the kettles anymore.
I do. They're outside ringing the bell. It's freezing out.
Let me tell you something.
I can't not put money.
You can ring my bell. Ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring. No. Because that's an organization, while they all do some good, some do. Ronald McDonald's House, I'll donate to.
Oh, yeah, they're a good cause.
Great cause.
They're a good cause.
We're raising money with John Bramnick for, I'm blanking. What's the March 9th fundraiser for again? It's for...
I really don't know what you're doing.
Noah will look it up. Now, that's a great organization.
Yeah.
And it's on our website, Noah. March 9th, we're doing a fundraiser with Bramnick for an organization that helps people, children who've lost a parent. So this is a grief counseling. It's called the Imagine Center for Grief, if I remember correctly. Is that right, Noah? Imagine Center for Grief Counseling. And this is a great organization. Yes. Mm-hmm. Did I get it right?
For coping with a loss.
For coping with a loss. And let me tell you how I remembered that with my mud water. But the point is that that's a great organization.
Yeah.
So Brian Greasy, who may end up being the quarterback coach for Michigan, who was a Michigan championship quarterback, he formed, because his mom died when he was young, he formed a great organization along with Charles Woodson for coping with grief. So those are groups I'll give to. Now, back to the tipping.
All right. So Liz Baroud said she was at Macy's and they asked for a donation. And she asked what the money went to, and the cashier didn't know. And Noah's mom said Moyles work for tips.
Who?
Moyles.
Who's Moyles?
Moyles, they do this circumcision.
Is your brother Jewish?
I love that.
Dad.
Your dad's Jewish.
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
That is so funny. So Phil Manza said, was that one of the Square credit card machines? Yes, it was. It was with the tips. It is always the Square.
Well,
yeah.
What's your rule of thumb for tipping? Like, let's say, for example, yesterday, I stayed over in Bridgeport and I had a buffet breakfast. Mm-hmm. Now, all the girls did, they don't even pour the coffee there. They just come take the plates away. Do you have to get up and get your own coffee? What's the tip on that?
That's a tough one because if they're doing absolutely nothing.
She did nothing. She cleared the plate. She said, can I get you anything? But if you said orange juice, she'd get, yeah, it's over there.
Right, because then that's like a Hampton Inn, like where the breakfast is free and you get up and you get it yourself. And
Well, this wasn't free. I got charged $16.
okay, it depends if they engage with me.
She was nice. She engaged.
Then I'm leaving them money.
How much? $16. I did it yesterday. What should I have left?
$5.
5. I got 3, and I thought I was
Yeah,
thought I was
I would have left 5.
the nicest human ever.
I would have left 5, but
Oh,
I overtip. I overtip.
You know, shit. That's why we'll never have money. All I ever do is work.
I overtip. I do. I definitely overtip. Hello, Kathy Caruso.
Hi, Kathy.
Kathy Caruso also overtips. 'cause
I
I've been
would
with
tip
them.
if I had, let's say, I stayed at someone's house. I was performing somewhere, and I stayed at their house. And if they left me alone, if they gave me,
Oh, and you stayed in the room all day, and
be careful.
yeah.
I would throw a tip to that.
Yeah. I would think so.
I'm not making the bet.
No. I think that when I go, some people will tip housekeeping. They'll tip anybody. Like, I know some people that leave a tip in their room, in their hotel room, every day for housekeeping. Now, housekeeping doesn't come for most hotels anymore every day. But if they deliver something to my hotel room, I'm giving them something, obviously.
I will. I generally do not tip housekeeping. Mm-hmm. I don't. Mm-hmm. If they do an outstanding job, but what does that even mean?
Right? It's a very nebulous area. So
let's go down. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Kathy Cruz said, Vinny.
So what I'm gonna say is, you're the one that you took it too far.
No,
I was
not.
perfectly on the line. Is she mad at me? I hope not.
I'm sure
So
she's not.
what I will tell you is, boy, I hope I ain't.
No, you're fine. Go on.
So here's my list of things I'll tip. Mm-hmm. Starbucks. If the barista is nice to me, I get a tip.
Oh, yeah.
Right. My haircut.
Oh, obviously.
Waiters and waitresses, obviously.
Obviously.
Bellman. Mm-hmm. I do not tip the prostitutes. They're already well paid.
Sure. They make a lot of money. Okay, let's say you're going to buy a pizza.
Huh?
You're going to buy a pizza.
And I'm walking in to pick it up?
You're walking in to pick it up.
No.
See, that's one of those uncomfortable things when you're getting a to-go food and they take that screen and they turn it around and you either have to look them in the face and say no.
Put the camera right here. You want a tip? Bring that shit to my house. No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you know what, though? If it was a place I go all the time and they're friendly.
Yes.
Right? So if you go into a place and the guy's, hey, Vinny, Vicky, how you guys doing? I got your pizza ready for you.
Yeah.
That's a tip.
That's a tip.
Okay, what else? Gas station attendant.
Only if they do something spectacular or if it's somebody like a kid and he sits and talks and it's really cold out or it's raining out, I'll tip the kid.
What do you tip them normally? Stay in college.
No, I give a couple bucks. But it's hard, right? Because
How do you do that? Because you're paying with a credit card.
Only like if there's this one kid at Craig's who will come over to the car and be like, "This is a nice car. I like your car," and he'll like. But it's only really at Craig's Mobile because
Craig has a great
else,
staff.
nobody else will talk. Like I didn't even tell you this the other day, which is so gross. I don't even want to get into it.
What happened?
But I went to get gas quickly at the place by Dunkin' Donuts, and a guy must have felt like he had something in his nose, but
Did he air hanky?
What?
Air hanky.
I'm not going to go into it all.
Go into it. You can't tease the audience. What did he do?
Well, I mean,
picked his nose?
Oh, yeah. And then he was going to touch my credit card. So I was like, gross.
I would have said, listen, you got to wash your hands. You
So-
got to wash the nose meat
So
off your
I
fingers.
literally took the credit card back like this, and then I dumped it into the tip my car, and then I waited till I got home. Then I went and got a napkin, and then I wiped off my credit card.
I'm trading the car tomorrow.
But he seemed to not care that I was sitting there. And like he knew I was there.
I like all those guys, but now
No, this wasn't at Craig's.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Dunkin' Donuts guys. I like them too.
Eh.
They're all a bunch of Indian dudes.
Yeah, but I just really could care less. And he touched
No,
my
look
credit
up. Does
card.
the Indian culture pick their nose? Is that something you can Google? Are you allowed to Google?
Phil Manza said this booger story is sponsored by Mudwater.
I'm going to give Phil Mann that tip. So, all right, so a couple more.
Okay, so Kathy Caruso said, I tipped the gas jockey a buck or two. I don't think they're called gas jockeys.
Yes, they are.
What?
That's the official name. You're a gas jockey. Absolutely the right name.
What?
Yes, the
Get
gas.
out of town.
The gas
I'm
jock.
learning all new things today.
I was a gas jock. So, but when I was a gas jock, I would say, can I change your, can I check your oil? Mm-hmm. Check your tire pressure. I worked at a Hess. You had to do everything. Oil, tire pressure, windshield. Now, if someone does that for me, I'm tipping them.
Oh, I would have tipped you like $10 if you
You know
asked me that.
the young kid at Craig's, whose mother watches every now and again, who joined the Air Force.
Oh,
young
yes,
kid.
yes.
And if you're watching, your kid is such a nice kid. But the way I started talking to him was in a tip situation
Right.
because he was so good. And I'm like, hey, nice talking to you, whatever. I tipped him a couple bucks. Now, there is one or two stations that have great service, and I will tip them, but not many. But usually, too, you're paying with a credit card, so it's hard.
Right. It is hard.
Now, what's the percentage? The proper percentage? What is not what you give, because you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, like the one time we went to a restaurant, and it was horrific service, horrific.
I feel bad.
I'm not gonna say where because they've turned it around. And I said to the waiter, normally we would tip you 30%, but you're so bad. Do you remember this? I want to stiff you, but my wife won't let me, so you're getting 10%. But that is considered a stiff from the brand. Do you remember that? I'll tell you where we were.
I don't remember.
Oh, you
but,
remember.
Oh, yes, I do remember. That was
Vicky
a
doesn't like the fact that I'm very.
very bad night.
Vicky does not like the fact that I am. What's the word? Emotive.
Vocal.
Vocal.
Strong. You're extremely vocal. And the other thing that you do, though, is when I try, like you're married, you have a communication with your spouse that others might not see. A way to communicate to say, like, hey, I think you've stepped over the line. And, it could just be, and so no matter what I do, Vinny then announces to everyone, so he'll step over the line and then announce to everyone how he stepped over the line and how he thinks that I want him to stop. So, like, I might put my hand on Vinny like this, and Vinny will say,
Don't go anywhere, bird.
don't put your hand on me. I'm not going to stop. He knows he's an asshole. I'm just telling him he's an asshole. Those are the kind of things, like when we were buying a car. So we just bought a new car a couple weeks ago. And, the process is exhausting. It's an exhausting process. You're just wiped out. I finally found a car I liked. I really wanted the car. And it was going to be over list. And, and it wasn't a crazy amount of money over list.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Anything over list is batshit crazy.
Okay. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm going to roll that into a car payment. Who cares? And Vinny goes, nah, I'm not doing that. We'll walk away right now. And in my head, I'm like, fuck, we got to start this process all over again. And so the guy comes down. It was going to be like $1,500 over list. The guy comes down $1,000. And I'm like, okay, $500 over a course of how many months?
Hear what I'm hearing?
I'm
You all
like-
hear what I'm hearing? This
So-
is why I have to work like a maniac. Go ahead.
So Vinny was like, no, I'm not coming down. I am not coming down.
I'm not going up.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I've had a glass of wine and no dinner. I'm sorry. So Vinny was like, no, I am not paying over list. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'll just pay the $500 myself. But
We have joint money. There
Yes,
is
but
no
that-
myself.
So it doesn't really work, like, unless we both agree. So finally the guy comes down. and we pay. But it was reminiscent to several years ago. I'll never forget it. We bought like a Lexus SUV. And we had been there literally all day.
Yeah, it's the worst process.
We were there all day. It was like 7 hours into the process. And this is after days and days and days of looking at cars. Because even though I say to Vinny, like, I want this car, he'll be like, you got to drive this and you got to drive this, you got to drive that. You got to make sure. You got to make sure you've seen it all.
How many times do you wish you dated somebody else before you fell into this trap?
So anyway, we're there at the Lexus dealership, 7 hours in. You've hammered out an amazing deal for us. We're just about to sign the paperwork. And they go, well, that'll be $50. I'll never forget. $50 for the registration. And you said, oh, no. I'm not doing your job for you. That's part of your job. And the guy's like, I'm sorry. I can't waive this $50. And now I'm like this. Are you fucking kidding me? I'll pay the $50. And you're like, nope, we're going to walk. We're going to walk over $50. And I was like, oh my God.
Didn't we get the $50?
Yes, we did. But it doesn't matter. At that point, I was like, it's $50.
Okay.
I just want to go.
But you should also say that I don't go crazy on the car price. I'm not that guy. I want everyone to make a living. But if you're charging someone $1,500 over list, those days are gone. They're gone. That was during the height of the pandemic, okay, when they were telling everyone, due to unprecedented circumstances. First of all, 2.5 years in, nothing is unprecedented. And 2.5 years in, it's precedented, okay? Now, Remsen used to give us prices, and I'd say, okay. He was always fair.
No, he was always fair.
We never haggled.
Yeah.
Now, we went car shopping one time, and I said to you before going in, if you like this car, just say to me it's okay. That'll be your signal, and I'll get us a fare. Not crazy. Everyone's allowed to eat. When you do business with me, everybody eats, okay? Just today, I ordered the dishwasher. The guy did what he could. It's done. That's a commercial dishwasher. So I said, Vicky, whatever you do, don't act over enthusiastic. She gets behind the wheel. Go over here. She gets behind the wheel of a car, okay? And the guy's outside the car with me, inside the showroom. She got her hands on the wheels. So I go, well, Vic, what do you think? I already know she likes the car. All she has to say is, it's okay. Instead, she goes, I want it. And she tapped like a child. Like a child.
I really do love my new car this year,
And the salesman like this. And we got crushed on that deal. Now, as it works out, we ended up getting that money back from Cadillac because of the way he turned that car in was just asinine. But, I don't have. Let's get back to tips for a second because you're making me look bad. So, what's your percentage in a restaurant? Good service.
Oh, good service?
Good, not great. Good.
Good service is a definite solid 22%.
You're way higher than that. You're 25, 30. I've seen you do 30.
Well, I didn't want to say it in front of you.
I know what you do. See, I think excellent service, above the top service,
Right.
is 25.
Yeah.
And I think very good service is 20.
Yeah.
Adequate is 18. Bad is 15. And that day at that restaurant should have been 0.
To be honest with you, even if I have bad service, I always do 20%.
Yeah, well, that's just ridiculous. And what's the incentive?
Yeah, I don't know. But I do feel like the one day, I always remember I had on my bucket list that I always wanted to give somebody 100% of the check. Remember, we wanted to do that one time, and it was on my bucket list, and I wanted to make somebody's day and give like a crazy tip. Like in our economic, stratosphere, that would be a crazy tip. Like obviously we can't afford to give someone like a $10,000 tip or something like that. So we had met that pregnant waitress in Hula Hands.
That's correct.
Yeah, and she sat down and was talking to us and hanging out with us, and we really liked her. And on like a $20 bill, we gave her a $100 tip.
Right.
And it felt good.
What'd she say?
She was really happy. Really happy. And, you know, like things like that. Like if you make a connection with somebody, I like giving a really good tip because it feels good. It feels good for me.
Right.
And it's to do it. But if somebody is just okay, I had this conversation recently with Maddie and talking about service because we were talking about the difference between not getting a complaint and getting a compliment. And if you don't complain about somebody, that just means service was good. Like it was good. It was fair. It was, you know, what it was. And when somebody gets a compliment, that means you've touched somebody. You've made an impact on their night.
When I'm gonna tell you right now, I know this for a fact. When the dancers touch Noah, he tips well.
Right?
Those guys make out great.
Yeah. So, so I just want to so Doug Jones refuses to pay over list.
Thank you, Doug.
And he does have a tendency to tip high. We have hung out with Doug, and I know he does. Noah's mom says true love endures car purchases. Yes, that is true.
Oh, yeah.
Because we do. We tend to get in fights. Like
The best ever was when the guy said to me, "This is the best price." I said, "Well, give me 3 of the dealer's numbers and I'll
Right.
check." Because he was being a jerk.
he was.
And he said something. Did I tell the story before? And the guy said something.
Right.
And I said, "Hey, you know, that's not right." And he goes, "Well, we're just men talking." So then later on in the conversation, I said to him, "I think you're a liar. I go, I think you're full of shit." And Vicky kicked me. And I go, "Oh, don't kick me. We're just men talking. He being an asshole. He knows it. I know it. Just men talking."
It was this tiny room that we were in. There was nowhere for me to go. Like, honestly, if I could just slink away, I would have. I would have slunk away and crawled out the door that day.
The next day, we bought that truck over the phone
Right.
in Cherry Hill for $4,000 less money. The guy delivered it. We were going to a funeral.
Right.
He had never met us.
Yeah, it was great.
He was late coming here.
Right.
We passed him on our street. I said, "Dude, I can't wait anymore."
Right.
He goes, "I'll just leave the truck in your driveway with the key.
Yeah.
Sign the paperwork tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm late." He left a brand new truck in the driveway with the key. So help me God.
Yeah.
We signed the paperwork. I mailed the paperwork back. I drove the truck right over to the other guy and said, "This truck got dropped off at my house. I never met the salesman for $4,000 less, and I didn't sign the paperwork until I was driving the truck."
No. No, I know. I know. It was the right thing to do. It just sometimes I wish that when I'm doing this or tapping you, you don't always vocalize that I'm doing that. Like
It's really become fun. It's become fun.
I know.
It's fun because here's the other thing. Everyone are in my orbit, with the exception of few people. There's 2 people that, for whatever reason, think that I'm not a straight shooter. Both of them are children of mine. Now, everyone else knows that whatever I think, I'm going to say.
Well, that's why there are times where Maddie and Tabby will say, "Don't tell Dad X, Y, or Z before we go somewhere," because he'll just say it.
I just say it.
You just say it. I know.
I just say it.
I know. So I just want to go over this. So Kathy Caruso, they say they tip like me, that even mediocre service gets 20%.
I
Just
gotta
like
start
me.
waiting on them when they come to the club.
Phil says, depends where you are too. That one time he won tickets to Tom Papa at the club and the server was great. So they tipped the cost of the ticket, which was
that's
amazing.
very nice.
That is very generous. Very generous.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, and Liz said that this is hilarious that she had a similar situation at Audi and the salesperson wanted her to pay much more for her time.
What?
The salesperson wanted her to pay more for her time.
Because you took too long with the sales.
I guess so. Yeah. It's
Well, I have
crazy.
to say, you sound rude.
So, but we actually have to wrap up. Cassie has a math.
Oh, here comes. Can we just say the couple expressions that we invented? Where's Cassie? Can you call her?
No, she's actually studying for a test right now. She's
So
upstairs.
this morning I coined a phrase. I think it's my phrase.
I love the phrase.
I don't know if it's mine. I don't know if anyone's
Yeah.
ever heard it before. Came to me this morning. I love it. It's a polite way to tell someone that you're upset with them.
Yes.
It's a fun way to tell them that
Yes.
the phrase, you feel free to use it. Jerk bomb.
Jerk bomb.
You're
we're
a
gonna
jerk
get
bomb.
We're gonna get T-shirts made up by that.
You
Jerk
are
bomb.
a jerk bomb. I like it, right? Noah, have you ever heard jerk bomb before? Can you Google and see if that's a thing? By the way, Noah, your hair is looking more and more like you belong on the set of Narcos.
No, you know what he's looking like? Fabio.
Fabio, or I was
Like
going to say,
I do know who Fabio is, Noah. We really do. So our new studio.
that was a good looking dude.
Yes, he is. He's very handsome. So in our
Easy. I said good looking.
Stop.
How'd you get a handsome?
So, he's like one of my kids, and he really is. And so, in our new studio, Noah's going to have a camera on him, so you guys can all see Noah and how he's growing out his hair.
Are you growing it out, or is that always a length?
I actually talked to Lauren today about getting a haircut.
No. No, it looks great. It looks. Vicky's right. You look a little bit like Fabio, a little bit like any. It's a good look for you. And I do listen. Vicky said you're handsome. I don't see that.
You know what, Mrs. How do you say your last name? Chait. Mrs. Chait is going to chime in. She's going to disagree with you.
She disagrees.
Well, I'm sure she would. It's her son.
She wants him to get a haircut.
No, she thinks he's handsome.
Oh my God, he's primping. He's primping. Yes, no, it's handsome, Mrs. Chait. I think he's very handsome. Hot.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we've got a boogie woogie.
Got a boogie.
So if you want to get your Jerk Bomb T-shirt,
Jerk bomb T-shirt.
Jerk Bomb T-shirt, hit us up.
It is a word, and it's on Urban Dictionary, but you do not want to know what it is.
Oh, it's a bad word. Oh, maybe we won't get
What does
into
it mean?
T-shirts.
What does it mean?
Something we can't say on Facebook.
Oh, you mean it's? But I don't understand.
Okay. Well, there goes the T-shirt, and we're gonna make sure our kid doesn't say it in school tomorrow.
Oh Jesus!
Whatever that is. Great, Vinny. Great.
Why do people have to sexualize everything?
Great, Vinny. Our 10-year-old's gonna go say some bad
Is
words in
dope
school.
bomb a word? Dope bomb's not much fun.
No, dope bomb is not as fun. So, all right. Well, this has been so fun. Thank you all for joining us. We've had.
Hey,
a
by
really
the way,
good
we're
time.
on Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
What else?
Amazon,
Amazon.
Apple Music, Spotify. What else?
anywhere you get your streaming service.
Anywhere you
Yeah.
get your streaming services. So that means if you're on the Tinder, on the
On the Tinder.
on the what's it called? My Fans, OnlyFans. So listen, Spotify, Amazon Music, or Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, of course here, Facebook. Keep watching.